Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Day 6. That's right, day 6 to the Mindset Challenge 21 days with Coach Nayyirah, right here on the Heal on Purpose channel, hosted by the Repair of the Black Family. My goodness, my goodness, my God, my God, my God, my goodness. Okay, y'all, listen. We are on day number 6. And yes, I'm still super excited to show up once again on day number 6. And so I am here to say, above all and about all, keep up. That's the process today. You got to keep up to grow up. You got to keep up to grow up. Okay, so my name is Coach Nayyirah. I am the founder of the Heal on Purpose slash Repair of the Black Family YouTube channel. I'm so super excited to serve you. I am a transformational life coach, speaker, retreat leader, author, travel advisor, spiritual advisor. Let me back this up. I'm not just any author. I am a international best-selling author. I'm a global impact, world-renowned speaker. Okay. If you haven't watched my TEDx, please make sure that you do that. I've also shared the stage with many powerful people, such as Les Brown, Manuel Suarez, just a lot of different people. Okay, but nevertheless, I'm not here to talk about all of that. I'm here to continue to excite us to be engaged in a process that's going to get us deeper into our transformation. I truly believe that if you show up somehow, some way on my channel, that you are a person that's interested in healing on purpose, intentional healing. Okay, intentional transformation, intentional growth. So, as we get ready to get started today, if this is your very first time being on this channel, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Coach Nayyirah. In addition to that, I'm going to ask that you go ahead right now, just take a moment. It just takes like a click, like take your finger and click the subscribe button. Okay. Once you do that, then like the video. And last but not least, put on the follow button. Therefore, or your notifications, right? To be notified every time my videos are uploaded, you want to get the notification. Last but not least, I'm going to ask if you care, share. I'll say that again. If you care, share. Share this with at least 3 people that you know can benefit from transformation. Okay? As you are watching this video, here's some of the successful actions that I ask that you do. Number 1, I highly advise that you have the book. If you don't have the book, you can listen to it on audiobook as well, as I will be reading from this book. In addition, you should have a journal. I like to highlight, right? So I have a highlighter. Okay. You should have a journal and be prepared to engage, meaning do the exercises, do the homework assignments that I give you. If you do these things for the within these 21 days, starting from day 1, you will actually see your own personal transformation. Transformation does not look the same for everybody, okay? You will see your own personal growth as we go through this process. And I highly encourage you to get someone else to do it with you so you can have something to dialogue about. Okay, especially husband and wives, or people that's in relationships. It's really good that as you grow, the others grow. Okay, it's really good that as you grow, the others grow. I truly believe in accountability. Now, another way that you can support me is make sure that you're making comments. So that way I know every time that you come on this channel, we are engaging with each other. If you make a comment, I will comment back. Okay. And so for the last 5 days, we've been engaging in this study. Yesterday's assignment was about character, thought, equals destiny, or should I say, thought and character equals your destiny. It determines your destiny. Okay. So today our theme today is thought dictates your actions, and your actions dictate the results. That's right. Your thoughts dictate your actions, and your actions dictates your results. Now, I want to say this. This is a mindset challenge, which means we're going after the weaker parts of ourselves, the parts that no longer serve us, the parts that we really want to see change in. Okay. We will strengthen and fortify our strengths, and we will edify, and strengthen our weaknesses. Okay. So if you hear me talking a lot about weakness, that is the goal. That's the goal. The goal is to get you to look and make a new decision for change. Okay. And so, as we go deeper into this process, my goal is to drive you to new actions. And the best way to do that is to drive you into new thoughts. How do you know when you have new actions? Because the environment, the people around you, your circumstances, your lifestyle, it will change. That's your evidence. As you are changing your thoughts, you got to have evidence that you have a new way of thinking. People say they want one thing, and yes, we do. But our actions reveal the truth. So you have to make sure that your words are aligning with your actions, and your words is a product of your thoughts. Let me say that one more time. Your words, my words, is a product of my thoughts. So the words that I speak is a result of how I think. Okay. So looking for new evidence, you can tell, number one, that your mindset has changed by your language. You will no longer sit and talk bad about yourself. You won't invalidate yourself. That's one of the worst things that you can do, is to talk bad about yourself. And I had to learn that, especially on a weight journey. Okay. I would look in the mirror and be like, oh my gosh, I'm getting so fat. There I go, invalidating myself. And guess what happened? I was getting fat. And nobody was doing it to me. I was doing it to myself because that was my mindset. So I would speak it. Don't you know life and death is in the power of the tongue? That which you speak, you shall become. So the first thing we need to do is, as we change our thoughts, we change our language. So if somebody is saying, okay, I want growth, I want healing, but you find yourself procrastinating, you find yourself avoiding and staying connected and communicating to people, places, and things that's not conducive to your new way of thinking or the new desire to be changed, this is where you have to really check yourself. Watch this. Check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay? So as we're growing on this growth change, ensure that any and everybody that's around you, and you are around it or them, people, places, things that has to change, that you are in alignment with your new self. Okay? The environment has to be in alignment. Well, coach, how do I do that? You can't think one way and live another. Check your lifestyle. Check your lifestyle. Check off one bad habit that you know that you have. And within these 21 days, you see it changing. But that's where truth and honesty come. You got to know, okay, this right here, I got to change this. See, I had to change telling myself that I was fat. I had to change telling myself I'm gaining weight. I had to change that. And the more I changed it, the more I started to slim down. I didn't even have an appetite to eat certain foods because I started to change the way I thought about my food, about me. When I look in the mirror, I don't see a double me, I see the single me. And I still have more work to do, but I'm happy in doing the work. So you got to work cheerfully. When you change it, you got to work cheerfully. So you have to always know that there's a connection between your thoughts, your behaviors, and your outcomes. There's a connection between your thought, your behaviors, and your outcomes. And one of the things that I want to encourage us to do is give it to God and then get up and go to work. Because prayer without work is dead. Prayer with faith without work is dead. So you and I got to be actively working, but you got to keep your connection with your higher power. No matter how you call on him, lean into the God of your understanding, but you got to go to him and ask him to strengthen you. Ask him to give you a triple dose of his spirit. And as you gain that internal power. Now you can't go back and start to talk the same way, look the same way, be the same way. No, you got to change it. And as you're changing it, you got to look like you in transformation. You can't go back to the bad habits. There's a scripture in the Bible that says that don't be like a dog that returns to its own vomit, which indicates don't be that person that go back to those same bad actions, those same bad people, it's not just bad, it's weaknesses. Elevation requires the elimination of procrastination. I found that most people can't do what they want to do because they procrastinate. So I want you to begin to sit up tall and walk tall and hold your head up high. Because the higher you hold your head up, the more you can elevate. I'm not talking about being vain. I'm talking about being confident that you are in a change process. Hmm? And so the more we can identify our actions of where we are, we can leave those thoughts behind because we can identify when we got weak thinking coming up. Hmm? And so as I get ready to get us into our book, understand that discipline is a part of the regimen. I know, listen, some things you're going to hear me repeat that you heard in previous videos, but it's necessary for change. It's necessary for growth. It's necessary for transformation. One of the hardest things to do is to get people to change their mind because they on fixed conditions. They fixed on not just their thoughts, but maybe their parents, maybe their grandparents, maybe their aunts, their uncles, their boyfriends, their girlfriends, or whatever. Some people are not fixed on their own thoughts. They fixed on old habits because of the product of being a product of their circumstances or their environment. So we got to get out of fixed conditions. Girl, I ain't changing for nobody. Ooh, baby, you don't want to be around that person. No, 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 no. You should hold people accountable around you to change. And let me tell you another thing. Procrastination is something that comes from within. It could be a learned behavior, but you are responsible for it to get in motion. Okay? Betrayal is another one. Betrayal is one of those weak habits because oftentimes we're looking for betrayal on the outside. But how have you betrayed yourself? How do I betray myself? Oh, I'm gonna go to the gym. Then lied to myself and I went back on my plan of action. Betrayal. So before you can identify on what's on the outside, see how you treat yourself. Are you betraying yourself? So we got to eradicate betrayal and hold yourself accountable to the truth and hold other people accountable to the truth. Don't let people lie to you. Because when we let people lie to us and we lie to ourselves, we are participating in the betrayal. So one of the things that I want to say is be true to you in these 21 days. And the word for the day is keep up. You got to keep up. Write that in the comments. I got to keep up. I got to keep up with my truth. I got to keep up with my discipline. I got to keep up with my consistency. I got to keep up with my desire. I got to keep up with my new thinking because the old you going to try to pull you back. But I just came to tell you this. Keep up with your transformation. And keep God first and you keep up. And look, move quickly. Success loves speed. The quicker you can do things, the better off you'll be. Let me tell you one of the things that help you change your mind. When you don't start something and you when you start something and finish. People that start stuff and can't finish it, baby, they stuck. That's where you get stuck at. You get stuck in those things that you did not complete. So today, homework assignment is find some things that you have not complete it, and get in motion. And watch how much of your mind begin to free up as a man or woman thinketh. If you are cluttered in your mind, if I'm cluttered in my mind, baby, I'm telling you, I get tired of stuff. So the goal is to declutter. The goal is to organize. The goal is to organize your thoughts, organize your feelings, organize your actions, and get new results. Okay. So before we get in our book, I'm gonna ask you. I'm gonna give you three things to do. Okay, three. Remember, I said that you will experience transformation. These are things that you should write in your journal right now. These next three things. So within 24 hours, you have something that you can actually be able to apply. You ready? Okay, here we go. Number one, what are you avoiding? What action have I been avoiding? Write this down. What action have I been avoiding? Okay. Number two, what thought is creating that avoidance? And I want you to tap into the emotional tone level of this too. How you feel about the questions that I'm asking you. And for the ladies out here, if y'all don't have my Heal on Purpose workbook, my God, I'm gonna drop it in the chat. You can in the description. You can get it off my website. You should have the Heal on Purpose workbook. It would be a good complementary book to go with this transformation. Okay. Number three, what new thought will I choose to activate the different action today? That's that word, activation. What new thought will I choose to activate a different action today? See that? Activation and action go together. Action and activation goes together. So once you activate the new thought, now you get in motion. I got motion. Yes. Okay. And we're going to get into the book. Okay. But I want to close out my portion with me not reading. Okay. I made my own personal notes to talk to us today, to show up today. My portion, I'm going to close out with this. This is where excuses end and alignment begins. We're not making no more excuses. We're activating new actions to get new desired results. And that's the key word, desired results. Hey, this is a 21-day mindset challenge. You're challenging your mind to be stretched on a whole new level. And if you find yourself not feeling like yourself, you're not feeling good, and you're bogged down in problems, this is exactly why you want to close off the world, close off the rest of the world, and do these processes. Tell somebody no and say yes to yourself. Or tell yourself no and say yes to somebody else. Yes, I'm about to take some time for myself. Yes, I'm about to do something else. Yes, and no to your procrastination. All right, y'all ready to get into it? Ooh, I'm so super excited. I'm so excited for us. I'm excited that I have people that want to change trauma patterns. I'm excited that I have people that would tune in. I don't care if it's one person. If I got one person on here, I know me and God doing the work. Because that one person, understand the assignment. You understand that it's required in this time. And you understand that it's required and is necessary, and the greatness is within you. You understand that. And so you just came to a voice to help you get to that next level. So I'm super excited. I'm super excited because I understand that everything is energy. I understand that we have to raise our vibrations. I understand, and I want you to understand that energy is transferable. So if you're on this call tonight, it's simply saying that you're ready to be transformed to a new level, a new mindset, a new state of existence, a new healing. And you know that Coach Nayyirah is one of the factors that can get you there. Through obedience and discipline, we both gonna get there. Okay? So now that I've said that, I believe we're gonna think different and we're gonna act accordingly to our new thoughts. So let's go ahead and get into it. Y'all ready? Because yesterday was a repeat day. Today we back on the line. We back on the line. Y'all ready for me? Because I'm ready for y'all. Okay, here we go. So we are on we're actually on page 17. Okay. Make sure you get your book out. Come read with me. Somebody read with me. Okay, I want somebody to read with me. Okay, so where are we? I'm going to actually just go back to 17 because we're at the bottom, but I want to come up a little bit more. I'm going to take my highlighter out just in case I come past something that I want to mark my book. All right, so here we go. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. Their whims, fancies, and ambitions are thwarted at every step, but their innermost thoughts and desires feed with their own food, be, be it foul or clean. The divinity that shapes our ends is in ourselves. It is our very self. Man is balanced only by himself. Thought and action are the jailers of fate. They imprison, being base. They are also the angels of freedom. They liberate, being noble. Not what he wishes and prays for does a man get, but what he justly earns. His wishes and prayers are only gratified and answered when they harmonize with his thoughts and actions. There we go. In the light of this truth, what then is the meaning of fighting against circumstances? It means that a man is continually revolting against an effect without while in effect without while all the time he is nourishing and preserving its cause in his heart. That cause may take the form of a conscious vice or an unconscious weakness. But whatever it is, it stubbornly retards the efforts of its possessor, and thus cause allowed for remedy. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. Lord, they therefore remain bound. Let me highlight that. And we're gonna go back over that word right there. Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound, which means remain stuck. Okay. And remember, this is as a man thinketh, but we're going to talk about the woman too. Okay. The male who does not shrink from his self-crucifixion can never fail to accomplish the object upon which his heart is set. This is as true of earthly as of earthly things. Okay. Even the man whose sole object is to acquire wealth must be prepared to make great personal sacrifices before he can accomplish his object. And how much more so he would realize a strong and well poised life. Here is a man who is wretchedly poor. He is extremely anxious that his surroundings and his home comfort should be improved. Yet all the time he shirks his work and considers he is justified in trying to deceive his employer on the ground of the insufficiency of his wages. Such a man does not understand the simplest rudiments of those principles which are the basis of true prosperity, and is not only totally unfitted to rise out of his wretchedness, but is actually attracting to himself a still deeper wretchedness by dwelling in and acting out indolent, deceptive, and unmanly thoughts. My God. Here's a rich man who is the victim of painful and persistent disease as a result of gluttony. He is willing to give large sums of money to get rid of it, but he will not sacrifice his gluttonous desires. He wants to gratify his taste for rich and unnatural veins and have his health as well. Such a man is totally unfit to have health because he has not yet learned the first principles of a healthy life. Listen, here's an employer of labor who adopts crooked measures to avoid paying the regulation wage and in the hope of making larger profits reduces the wages of his work people. Such a man is altogether unfitted for prosperity, and when he finds himself bankrupt, both as regards reputation and riches, he blames circumstances, not knowing that he is the sole author of his condition. I think y'all see where we're going here, okay? I have introduced these three cases merely as illustration of the truth that man is the causer, though nearly always unconsciously, of his circumstances, and that while aiming at a good end, he is continually frustrating its accomplishment by encouraging thoughts and desires which cannot possibly harmonize with that end. Wait a minute. So what I'm getting from this is you could think one thing and you want something, you have a desired goal, but your unconscious thoughts is self-sabotaging. You think you're doing one thing, but the unconscious thought has you doing action that goes towards the sabotage of the desired end. Okay, here we go. Such cases could be multiplied and varied almost indefinitely, but this is not necessary as the reader can, if he so resolves, trace the action of the laws of thought in his own mind and life, and until this is done, mere external facts cannot serve as a ground of reasoning. Circumstances, we're going to close off with this last page. Circumstances, however, are so complicated, thought is so deeply rooted in the conditions of happiness, vary so vastly with individuals that a man's entire soul condition, although it may be known to himself, cannot be judged by another from the external aspect of his life alone. A man may be honest in certain directions, yet suffer private actions. A man may be dishonest in certain directions, yet acquire wealth. But the conclusion usually formed that the one man fell because his particular honesty, and that the other prospers because of his particular dishonesty, is the result of superficial judgment, which assumes that the dishonest man is almost totally corrupt and the honest man almost entirely virtuous. In the light of a deeper knowledge and wider experience, such judgment is found to be erroneous. The dishonest man may have some admirable virtues, which the other does not possess, and the honest man obnoxious vices, which are absent in the other. The honest man reaps the good results of his honest thoughts and acts. He also brings upon himself the suffering which his vices produce. The dishonest man likewise garners his own suffering and happiness. Okay, we're going to stop right there. That's on page 22. Okay, we're going to stop on page 22 at the bottom, and we can continue on tomorrow because I don't want to keep the video long. All right, so listen. Truth and honesty can be deceptive, which means on the outside you look in one way, that's a mask, but in the inside it's something totally different. But the people only see the truth of what you show them or the lie. The people only see the truth of what I show them. So this is why it's so imperative that we constantly become true to ourselves. So those weaker parts of ourselves, that when we show up And the truth that people see is the truth that we see. And with that being said, as a man woman to think is, so is she. Hey, we healing on purpose today. Take a breath and say, I am true to me. I am true to me. The truth that I am is the truth that I create. I am true to me. Hey, this is Coach Nayyirah. I want to thank y'all so very much. I enjoyed my talk with y'all today. I enjoyed my talk with y'all today. And the more we change, the more wealthy we become. You looking for wealth? Look in the mirror. I'm talking to the girl in the mirror. She rich. Peace. Heal on purpose.